A very good evening to all the participants. My name is Dr. Vignesh. I'm part of the National Digital Library of India team. We are one of the co-organizers and technical support partner for this 25th PM Panicker National Reading or Digital Reading Month celebrations, along with NDLI, Ministry of Education, the Central Board of Secondary Education. As you are aware, we have been organizing a series of webinars during this month-long celebration. And today is the 23rd in the series of webinars that we have been organizing. Today's session is on creation of learning materials for NDLI. And we have one of the pioneers of this computer science in the country, Professor Partha Pradeem Chakravarti with us, who was the former director of IIT Kharagpur. Currently, he is the professor in the computer science department. He is an expert in artificial intelligence, machine learning, algorithms, in various over 200 articles. He has guided over 24 PhDs. He has been in various committees of the Government of India. He has guided the National Program on Technology Enabled Learning, GYAN, Spark. He consulted extensively on the train the 10,000 teachers initiative. So you can name major Government of India's program as well as the industry program. Professor Chakrabarti has been there. And apart from his academic credential, I found him like he's a very, very, very humble, modest and kind soul. So that's why if you can look at his student group, he has been like celebrated like a Bollywood celebrity among the students he has been teaching. And also he's, apart from this, also he is a very good teacher. He exposed almost out of topmost faculties in the IIT Kharagpur. He is in the topmost category. He is one of the best faculty members the IIT Kharagpur has got. So we are very pleased to have you with us today for this session, sir. Now I request Balagopalji to formally welcome Professor Chakrabarti for this session. Over to Balagopal, sir.
Dr. Vignesh, thank you. There's disturbance. There is some disturbance, Vignesh. Can you rectify it? Anyway, it is a pleasure and privilege for me to invite Dr. PPC, who is popularly known as PPC, PP Chakrabarti, to this webinar. He is also part of this webinar. And I am, in fact, have admiration with him because he is the creator, according to me, not according to me, it is a reality. He is the creator and mentor of the National Digital Library movement of the country. Because National Digital Library is one of the very innovative concepts introduced in the country, which reaches every corner of the country, and that too through digital knowledge, providing digital knowledge to each and everybody. Those who have access with digital technology, digital literacy, not technology, digital literacy. And we are also taking the advice and his directions in implementing the massive scheme discussed with him during my Calcutta visit last year. And I discussed this issue with our Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, and he readily accepted, and he has given me the in-principle sanction approval. Only thing is, he said, Balgopalji, from where are you mobilizing the money? Then I said, you kindly give us a umbrella support. We will manage. Then he was asking how. No, all these MPs, MLAs can contribute their MPLAD and MLA-led fund, but then last year due to COVID-19 pandemic, the MPLAD fund has been freezed. But however, this year I'm told that this year it is being that this ban will be lifted this year. Even if it is not forthcoming, the MLA-led fund that can be poured and channelized to meet the infrastructure requirements of establishing 2.65 lakhs digital libraries in all the panchayats of the country. I think by we planned to make it a reality by 2025. But now it seems to be because of these 2 years COVID pandemic and other issues, it may go up to 230. Anyway, 230, 230, we will achieve. We will achieve with the help and directions and advice of Dr. The people like Dr. P.P. Chakrabarti and Dr. P.P. Das, etc. And under the full support of the digital library movement of the country. Because the Calcutta, this IIT Kanpur, IIT Kharagpur is the real creator, because Dr. Chakrabarti was the head of this department for a pretty long time, and even now he is heading. Only he's just changed his position, that's all. And I'm sure that they have done a revolution in this information technology area and reaching the every corner of the country through internet-enabled library movement. One library, all of India. This is one of the best concept that we can do for achieving the universalization of education. I value his advice and I value his presence also. And with these words, because if my welcome address exceeds 3 minutes, our friend Dr. Vignesh will stop it. But in this case, he is also he is also worshipping the abilities and directions and the guidance and his overall control of this movement, because PPC is his boss. So this time he will permit me, but even then, I would like to, in my last concluding speech, I would like to say a few more words also, because I don't know how to express my pressure, because I get more knowledge acquisition when I am in the midst of people like Dr. Chakrabarti and Dr. Das, because it's technological issue. I'm a layman, I don't have much technological background, but I am getting more input, more what do you call it, knowledge in making this our dream to a reality within the next 3 to 4 years. With these words, I am formally inviting P.P. Chakrabarti sir to this meet, and I am inviting all the participants to this attending this webinar, and inviting all the technical people and all other people behind this program. Thank you all. Chakrabarti sir, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And it is always an honor for me to be in the company of Sri Balagopalji, and the PM Panicker Foundation is doing outstanding work at the grassroots, and whatever they are doing will end in transformation of this country, because the only thing that can transform this country is education. Today, it is my proud privilege to again talk to you about the National Digital Library of India. The main concept by which I want to talk to you today is that the National Digital Library of India today has reached a stage where it can provide to a large number of people. But the potential of this country is such that every teacher, every person who has graduated, every person in the workplace, every student and every student group has the potential to create new material from the knowledge that they have acquired. And we in this country, who have the largest young population in the world, if we are able to do that, even 20% with 20% of our potential, we will become a world superpower in education. We will have the potential not only to educate every person in this country, but also in this world. This digital revolution has enabled us to build this platform of the National Digital Library, which will connect one and for all. Therefore, my request in this webinar is I will go through the webinar, but my main request is that through the National Digital Library, we can help everybody else in the country with each one of us creating 1 or 2 materials per month and producing it to the library. If we are going to do that, then surely we will grow by billions of content every year. So let me now share my screen and start my presentation. Is my screen visible, Dr. Vignesh?
Yes, sir. It is visible, sir. You can start.
Has it become full screen?
Yes, it has become full screen.
Again, with my humble reverence to the great PM Panicker ji and Balagopal ji and everybody else and all the audience here, I am going to talk today about creation, contribution, and identification of learning materials for the National Digital Library of India. I will quickly give you a recap of the National Digital Library of India. Then I will show you how NDLI has a major role to play in the national education policy. Then we will talk about how NDLI sources its content and material. And finally, the main topic, the clarion call for creation, contribution, and identification of learning materials for NDLI. NDLI, a brief recap. Today, after 6 years of effort, we have the National Digital Library of India as one digital library for all of India. It has 7.3 crore indexed content in 400 languages from 350 sources. It has got 32 lakh active users, and with one click of the button, you can browse millions and millions of content. What is it? It is a 24/7 umbrella digital library. Why umbrella? It does not store every owner's content. The owner has their own content at their own place or in a public place, but it combines everything together, which means that if there is a physics lecture from one school or another from another college or another from an American university, all the physics lectures on a particular topic can be searched, browsed through a single window. It covers all disciplines, whether you are in the lowest kindergarten or whether you are in an advanced postgraduate or research program or you are a lifelong learner. It also has collection-wise covering school and every other content. Digital content helps us provide not only books, but also video, audio, image, simulation, animation, etc. In the context of the reading month, it becomes very important that the idea of audiobooks, where people read a book, becomes very, very important. And therefore, in today's world, even if you do not have the time to open a book and read it, you can also hear a book while you are on the move. In addition, there is simulation, there is animation, because there are new modes of education. Other than all the language material, we also have the user interface in 10 Indian languages. So there are two parts of it. One is the web app, the other is the mobile app. And the mobile app is available at the Play Stores, and you can download the mobile app for free. I will do a quick demo at some point in time. The traditional library has physical books, journals, and usually textual content. And there are advantages of going to the library, opening up a book, etc. But The digital library not only has all of this, it has got videos, audios, animations, simulation, presentations, data sets, and many other things. So it has got an enhanced content that would not be possible in a traditional library. The range of contents with the education in mind consists of the lecture notes, slides, video lectures, course material, term papers, assignments, solutions, question papers, question banks, model answers, laboratory experiments, etc. For example, if you want to show a laboratory experiment of a particular subject, say chemistry, then you could do a video and explain that whole experiment over a video and upload that experiment on the digital library. You could also do the experiment live and demonstrate it. Other than this, then you have got many interesting cultural content, including manuscripts, paintings, and I will come to some very interesting content. And in addition to that, on the left-hand side, you can see you have got faculty publications, books, annual reports, encyclopedias, dictionaries, etc. It is very important for a contributor to know that for every content item of the digital library, there needs to be something called metadata. Metadata is information about the content. If you go to any physical library, you will have a catalog which has got the title, the author, the abstract, etc. And those cards were there for people who can visit those libraries, catalog cards. However, in the digital sense, this is much more elaborate. And anybody who is creating content for the digital library and contributing content to the digital library also has to create the information about the data. What is the author? What are the keywords? What is a summary abstract, etc., etc. And this is a heart of the NDLI. And this has been a major contribution of the National Digital Library. The other thing that is very important, and we want all contributors to know, that it is open. We want you to provide material who can be accessed without freely accessed by anybody, so that we can make education and learning free. Like Tagore had said, where the mind is without fear, where knowledge is free. So we have got a large set of open content. Secondly, it is inclusive. It tries to cover all subjects, all people, and provide access to everybody and anybody. So this is very unique. We have a very unique National Digital Library, probably one of the most unique libraries in the world, which has got 15,000 participating institutions, 60 lakh registered users. We are getting about 2 crores active average daily hits. And as I said, we have 400 languages, and we are trying to get many other new things. But the main step now is for users to start contributing. So one of the avenues by which the National Digital Library can be at every hub, every village, every panchayat, every district, is every school, every college, is through this concept of a club. So you can form a National Digital Library club in your own place with a group of people, whether it's a school, whether it's a college, whether it's a panchayat, whether it's a district center. And I will request Palagopalji to try to encourage, when he does this panchayat level digital libraries, to form digital clubs everywhere. These clubs form the heart where people can both physically and in online interact with each other and perform activities. And these activities can be centered around the material of the club. Today, the digital library forms the backbone of the educational system. With the pandemic in place, we now know that the digital library has become the nation's lifeline. The national education policy, when it was envisaged, we had a lot of discussions, and therefore the whole concept of sustainable development goal of lifelong education, equitable education, there the digital library plays a very important role. And in several aspects of the National Digital Library, the whole in the NEP 2020, the National Digital Library's requirement is explicitly stated, as you can see in clause 24.4, clause 22.19, and everything else. Moreover, this will enable new ways of learning, new ways in which people can access material. People can start telling the stories of their own villages. People can document the stories with technology available today. If you tell a story, then the speech to text can convert it to text, and we can have both textual material, audio material, and video material. And by this, I will again request Balagopalji that if we can collect and collate together and have a nationwide movement to collect all the folk stories of the country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from Gujarat to Manipur and Nagaland, and cover all this and put them all in the National Digital Library through the PM Panicker Foundation and NDLI movement, it will become a huge, huge contribution for our future generation. NDLI played a key role in facilitating these concepts of the NEP 2020, and till now we are providing this free of cost to every citizen of the country. Now coming to the most important part, that how do we process and acquire contents into NDLI? So NDLI identifies open access sources. So anybody in the audience, anybody in the country who can identify open access sources, not in the National Digital Library, but may be relevant, should point it out to us. These could be educational institutions, digital repositories, any other sources. The other is teachers, professors, individuals, associations, voluntary organizations. They have their own content. Small libraries collecting Indian historical material, private libraries. We have got libraries like the Chakrabarti Ashram of Gandhidham. All of them are now contributing their material, and this is how we collect material from all over the world. Moreover, we establish an agreement with various organizations. A large number of institutions, schools, colleges, universities are also adding their content and material. So the contents must be publicly accessible. That means we would like the contents to be provided in such a way that these contents are hosted in a public place or in that owner's own place. Once they are able to host it in a public place or in their owner's own place, NDLI requires only the metadata. That means the information about the content in a structured form. We do not require the actual content. The actual content can either be in a public place or with the owner. And all we need is, so this is to be made very clear, that NDLI does not start owning the content of any creator. In many cases, through the requirements of the government and others, NDLI has also physically digitized and kept it. Those are now national assets, and we have it with NDLI due to special circumstances, and I shall come to it. So I want to stress again that for anybody who wants to contribute, there is a very simple mechanism for which you need to follow and collaborate with us. So how do you start creating content? how do you start contributing an identification of learning materials? So let us see how our 7.3 crore content that we have in NDLI, how is it structured? The 7.3 crore content, of which 5.3 crore is fully open and available. It has got 400 languages. However, maximum is English. And that is where we need to contributors from the country, from every state of every language, to try and contribute material in Indian language. The Honorable Prime Minister of the country has stressed again and again that in order to educate all the people, they need to have their material in the local language. And therefore, it is my call and request that please start producing material in the local language. Again, I am requesting PM Panicker Foundation and the great vision of Balagopalji and his dynamism. All of you think that he is very old, but mentally he is even younger than all of us. His energy is such that we should request him that with his help, how we can get more and more material in the Indian languages. Now let us see what is the model of contributing to the National Digital Library of India. There is a 3C model of engagement. First is contribute, then is collaborate, and third is create. Contribute, collaborate, create. This 3C model will enable us to start interacting and gathering material. So what is contribute? If you are a teacher or a professor or a university head or a college principal or a school principal, the simplest way in helping students who have to buy all these past question papers from here and there is to contribute your question papers and solutions. If each teacher can every year for every subject that they teach, contribute the question paper and the solution to the National Digital Library, then we will have 1 crore questions and solutions in 1 year. So this is my request, that we build up a movement with the teachers, professors, colleges, schools, universities to collect question papers on every subject. What will happen is that these question papers then can be translated into every other Indian language and the solutions provided. As the pandemic has come, it has taught us a new mode of education. Now, people are creating videos of lectures and classes. What was again earlier thought that these videos will be made only by some very professional agencies, that whole concept has gone away. Now, even ordinary teachers are making videos, even students are making videos as assignments. And the technology has come. So here is my other question, that pick up a topic. I will show you how we have got certain such videos contributed. I will show you some very interesting examples of such contributions. And all the lecture notes, assignments, solutions. Then there are new generation of learning content, games, new types of videos, interactive games. All these are very, very unique ways. And why do we have to only depend on certain kinds of external agencies for which we have to pay? Why can't each of us produce a simple game, a simple question bank, so that the people of this country do not have to spend a large amount of money to acquire these through subscriptions? Then the NDLI clubs can hold events. For example, a club can hold a reading event in this reading month. Every such panchayat, club, school can hold a reading event. And based on that reading event and discussion event, they can have a discussion. We are working with an organization called Value of Words, which is based in Dehradun. There, with them, every month we do a book review, important book, which is then talked about, reviewed, and talked about in Indian languages. And expert discussions go on. And then this is very mutually enriching because this enables reading, this enables everybody to do simultaneous reading. Now, instead of having only one or two organizations do that, this can become a mass movement. The third is there is so much need for Indian language content. So what we need is that while we ourselves are searching for Indian language content, we will request all people of the stakeholders of education in this country, whether it is a parent, whether it is a teacher, whether it is a student, whether it is an administrator, whether it is a working professional who will spend 1 hour every week just to search for contents and contribute. Stories, fables. There is a very interesting thing. I have seen one of my colleagues' wives who is reading out a story to her child, a young little boy, 2-3 years old, video recording that story and uploading it. And once you video record that story and upload it, you will start seeing how our own stories, our local stories, stories that your grandmother used to tell you, stories that which are getting lost, will all be rejuvenated in this country. So that is why I am requesting all of you that let us build up this movement. Then each of us can make small documentaries. Today, making a video on the computer is straightforward. You can make a documentary on great people who others don't know about. There are women scientists, there are women leaders. We have all these freedom fighters. We have so many people. Let the country know. Let us do that in every language. Let the people from Bengal speak in Bangla about a Kerala revolutionary or a Kerala educator or a Kerala woman scientist. Let a Keralite talk about a Bangla scientist, a Bangla woman, a Bangla revolutionary, and speak about it in Malayalam. Let us go do this. Let us look at all the interesting heritage sites. Let us pick up all the pictures of the flora and fauna of the country, label it, and add it to the National Digital Library. We have no idea of how each of us can make a small contribution, and this contribution can transform our whole enrichment and learning, and this will become a digital knowledge of the world, not only of India. You can collaborate. What can you collaborate? You can pick up and translate non-copyrighted items. For example, you can look at Rabindranath Tagore and translate it in your native language if it is not done. You can make an audio version of a book. That means if a non-copyrighted content which is there in NDLI, you can do an audio version of it. Then there are videos. You can take a video and make a transcription of it, either in the language in which the video is there or in another language. Then we can take interviews of people who are toppers in examination, who are winners of Olympics. All these small success stories can all be put into NDLI. So you can make derivative. Then all schools, colleges, institutions, including private institutions, can collaborate and provide their own content. Universities can provide theses, even magazines, and several other things into photographs, etc., into the digital library. Finally, you can create. You can create explanatory notes. You can create clarifications to questions. You can have queries in forums. You can give solutions to past question papers. You can have innovative contents. You can write new content. Somebody can write a poetry. Somebody can write something. Somebody can even make educational games and contribute to the National Digital Library. This contribution is something that we desperately need. And without this contribution, we will not be able to really cross the threshold of meeting the goal of that 2030 that Balagopalji talked about. But if each of us puts in 1 hour per week, we will reach that goal not in 2030, but in 2025. However, there are certain things that we need to remember. The contents that we create must be free from plagiarism. They cannot be copied from somebody else. It's legally incorrect to copy somebody and plagiarize somebody and not give credit. So this must be maintained. It must be unique, your own content. Secondly, they should be under Creative Commons. That means it should be available to others. It should be hosted in an open access. For example, you can host it in YouTube, with a playlist. You can host it in your own institutional, in your own place, so that you can. So make sure that you host it in a place where everybody can access, and which is open 24/7. In some special cases, NDLI also hosts content. We will provide an appropriate acknowledgement of a contributor while rendering these contents to the users. NDLI will need help in creating metadata. So those who create content will also have to tell us information about that content in a metadata form, and we provide that. We have got 350 collaborators and contributors already included in NDLI. There are 151 research institutions who are collaborators and contributors. There are 32 national repositories and news archives. There are international aggregators and digital repositories. 17 states school boards, CBSE and NCERT, have provided all their material, and I will show you how they have contributed. 6 edupreneurs have contributed. The Ministry of Education, from NPTEL, SWAYAM, InflibNet, everybody has contributed. 40 publishers have contributed. There are 17 individual categories. The whole Digital Library of India, which is a storehouse of our national heritage, is here and has been contributed. And the Indira Gandhi Awards, Wikisource, and many other places. There are several interesting contributors. A major interesting movement was started by some of my own students from Kashmir, Jammu and Kashmir, who developed this Philo app, where anybody can ask a doubt and there is an interaction immediately. They talk on WhatsApp and record that video and upload that video. So now you have got doubts on thousands of topics clarified by people. There is another one by another of my own students who has submitted, Alice Solutions, who has submitted very interesting videos, and I will show you what they are. Then there is a Centum Academy who has contributed, explanatory videos, and there are many others. Then there are several trusts. The whole Presidency College Alumni Association have contributed their magazines. The Sabarmati Ashram is giving different types of content by and on Mahatma Gandhi. The Satyajit Ray Society has provided all the content of Satyajit Ray. And very recently, Tara Prakashani, India is a storehouse of old manuscripts. So all that has also been contributed. So in order to contribute to the National Digital Library, you have to write to us at ndlsupport@iitkgp.ac.in, and we will be grateful if you start contributing. So before I complete, let me stop this sharing. Let me stop this and show you a little bit about the National Digital Library. Vigneshji, is this Google screen up?
Yes, sir. Now the search engine has come, sir.
Yeah. So if you type National Digital Library in the search engine, this will be the hit of the National Digital Library. If you click here, then as you can see, you will get the National Digital Library of India. And as you can see, you will have the school books, the CBSE preparatory, engineering, science, humanities, literature, law, management, and scholarly publications, and several other things. For example, if you go to the school category, you will be able to see people have contributed JEE preparation materials. So this has come from contributors. What contributors have done is they have provided JEE solved papers. And what we have in the JEE solved paper is, as you can see, that the whole question paper of JEE is here. And if you click this question paper again, then you will see all the main questions. And once you click the question, you will get the solutions to the question as well. And these solutions have come from the contributors. And it is through the best teachers, the best people who will contribute. So this is one way in which contributors have contributed. Let us come to another aspect. Let us come and see how others have contributed. So if we go to our sources, then we see the whole NCERT has contributed. So we have got 6,235 material of all NCERT content available. If you want to see anything else, let us go to Karnataka Secondary Board. If you go to Karnataka Secondary Board, then you will see for Karnataka Secondary Board, they have contributed Social Science Class 10. So this is the material. So now, even if it is a pandemic, even if you are far away from home, even if you have not access to your books, all this is available directly in the National Digital Library. So you go to a chapter on social science and religious reforms, that is there. So 17 school boards have contributed to the National Digital Library of India. Then you have the whole of NPTEL lectures, all video lectures. There are 151,000 video lectures on engineering, science, and technology. Now, let us come to certain interesting contributors. Let us see how another contributor, Alice Educational Solutions, who provides educational videos, they have contributed video lectures, short video lectures, like a pair of equations in two variables. If you click this, immediately you will be able to see a very interesting video lecture. Then let us come to Philo. Philo is another app where these are all video lectures where each student has expressed a doubt and the solutions have been provided by teachers and they have recorded it and added it to the National Digital Library of India. On the other hand, you have during the pandemic, various faculty members have made their individual contributions. So whatever video lectures they had recorded during the pandemic, they donated it to the National Digital Library of India. Then you have got individual teachers, individual contributors. And these are individual contributors who have contributed individual material of various kinds, various interesting documents of the Mughal period, various class 11 lectures. Somebody has given a lecture to their own students during the pandemic. And again, they have contributed and loaded it into the National Digital Library. This is how the contribution increases. And this is how we have all our material. As you can see, I'm scrolling down. These are all our contributors. And we want more and more contributors to come. Then for the reading month, if you want to search audiobooks, so suppose I want to search audiobooks, then you have a whole resource of audiobooks in the National Digital Library. And if you want to search by source, then if you want to again search by source on the audiobooks, then there is the famous LibriVox, which has got 2 lakh audiobooks on various topics. You want to read Sherlock Holmes, you want to read any other classic literature, all that is there. I am now requesting, give me the classic literature of Malayalam, give me the classic literature of Kannada, give me the classic literature of Punjabi, give me the classic literature of Gujarati, give me the classic literature of Manipur, and let us read it out and store it in the National Digital Library. So the National Digital Library is a movement for all of us. It is a movement that all of us need to work together. And it is only, we have now in 6 years come to 7 crore material. We will go to 10 crore material within the next 2-3 years. But if we have to go to 100 crores, then the people of India, the teachers of India have to contribute. It is my clarion call. It is my request that I will request the blessings of Balagopalji and everybody else, that we work together to really make the National Digital Library of India India's asset. It is a movement of the people of India, and in order to make it a movement of the people of India, we want the Indian people of all genre to contribute. With this, I end my lecture. I am stopping my sharing and I will be happy to take questions. Vigneshji?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this amazing presentation, sir. So this is, though I work in the team, this is completely new. I have just seen. So this is how excellent faculty member could present make the presentation in a much more interactive and knowledgeable manner. I have learned a lot. I'm sure there are a lot of questions that must be there in the people's mind. Participants, you can just put it in the chat box. I will read it out to Professor Chakrabarti to respond. I think there is already a question which I've seen. So do we have Michael Newton's book in NDLI? I think you can just use our mobile app. You can download our mobile app and then search. I'm sure if it's available, it will definitely put it up. Yes.
He wants to know whether Newton's Principia is there in the National Digital Library of India.
So,
Huh?
yes.
Let me see. So Newton's Principia is there in the National Digital Library. Okay. You just type Newton's Principia, you will get it.
Sure. So there is a question from Mr. Ramesh from Hyderabad. His question is, when will we get IEEE journal resources in NDLI full?
Yes. Yes. So the question is that the IEEE is a subscribed channel. The government of India has taken the subscription. It's because it is a paid subscription. The government of India pays through UGC for a certain set of universities, and others take it on their own. What we have been able to convince NDLI, IEEE is at least to provide all their abstracts and latest titles to us and disseminate it through NDLI. We have been engaging with them to get their complete archives for a national license. That discussion is on with the government. As you can understand, that it costs a lot of money to do that. And that is beyond the budget of NDLI as of now. But we are working very strongly with the government because there is a movement now under what I was part of the National Science and Innovation Policy, where we are talking about a national sourcing of all the research material. So that is being planned with the Office of the Principal Scientific Advisor of the Cabinet, and we are working. India is also trying to work out a completely new movement where we forget about these people who are going, for whom we pay through our nose, and we have an Indian system of contributing to the journals. So let us hope some good news comes up very soon.
So the next question is, so how can a non-faculty member can contribute to NDLI? Who is
there is no concept of faculty member and non-faculty member. Everybody in this country is a creator, is a potential creator. If you have a way in which you want to contribute, I think I have given the email. You can write an email there. In the worst case, Dr. Vignesh and I are there. You can write an email to us and we will see how we can help you contribute to NDLI. Anybody who wants to contribute, please write to us.
Sure.
And there is that email ID which now has been put on the chat box. Please write to us and let us know how you want to contribute and we shall work with you.
So there is a question about the NDLI club. So if you could share more about the NDLI club, what is
the NDLI club is a unique initiative wherein groups of people, schools, colleges, district groups, social groups, who are interested in fostering education and learning and culture can form a club. Now this club is to be formed and there is a whole process of onboarding that club wherein there has to be some, we don't own anything. There is no money to be paid to NDLI, nothing. All you have to do is form a coherent group of people, and then, especially if it is a school, college, department, library, and all these, you can form a club, and then you can write to us. Even in this email ID itself, we will tell you exact process of forming the club. It is going to help conduct events. It is going to help the clubs participate in national competitions that NDLI works on. It is going to help in national events that NDLI conducts. So we now already have more than 2,000 clubs, and there are more than 1 lakh members of these clubs.
Sure, sir. So the next question is from Mr. Purushottam Avasti. His question is, any national level plan to tie up with libraries of schools? So he's suggesting.
So yes, any library of school libraries who want to become partner in NDLI will just write to us. All these libraries are with us. And we want to know how these libraries can contribute to NDLI. As I said, there is a process of onboarding. There is a process by which you can add to your contribution. For example, Tara Prakashani, which is a library of old manuscripts, has started by providing its catalogs. And those catalogs are now available. Slowly, they will start providing their material. Even if you are a library and you can make a list of the books available with you and provided that catalog to us, then if there is a person who wants a particular book, we will be able to point out the closest library where they can physically get the book if the book is not available in electronic form.
So I think this is another generic question. I think 2-3 people have written. So they have resources, but they don't know how to upload, where to upload. Like say, for example, somebody has a video lecture or an audio lecture, so he needs a proper.
Yes, all you is, you can write to us, we'll send you the steps, but I'll tell you a very simple step. You can upload your video lecture or audio lecture on YouTube. So you upload your video lecture on YouTube, then you have to create the metadata in the format that we send you, and you have to communicate with us, and we will integrate it.
Thank you so much, sir, for this amazing presentation and responding to various questions of the participants. Now I request Balagopalji to propose the vote.
Before I stop, Vignesh, I think we should draw up a movement by which uh, every local flower picture can be taken by people, by every student of every school will take one picture of a local flower, create its or a local plant, create its metadata, highlight its medicinal and other properties, and send it. That way, we will get 20 crore flower pictures of India. And you can imagine what a herbarium it will become. Similarly, there are simple things to do. We can have people reading out poetry in the local language. There are so many good recitation experts. And every student learns recitation. But we only learn recitation of English and foreign language poetry. Why don't we start recitation of local poetry? Why don't we do that, record it, upload it in the National Digital Library? May I request Sri Balagopalji that, as part of the PM Panicker Reading Foundation, a reading movement, if we take certain pledges of all the people involved, that by the time we have the next year's reading month, we will have all this in place.
So
this is my humble request.
That's a wonderful suggestion, sir. In fact, we have a platform through which we are accepting a lot of video book resources, especially from the faculty members and librarians. And for students, we are organizing a debate on videos. So similarly, like you suggested, we can document the flowers, because every year at least some 30,000 people participate in the competitions. And so it's not just only 30,000, the people around each student also for participate. Say, for example, I get calls from parents of the children, and they say like, we want to know what are the other things they can do, contribute to this reading. So that's a wonderful suggestion. So like, for example, the flowers, even the animals that we can come across in various parts of the country, the stories and the poetry recitation in local languages. So we will definitely take this up, and we will also try to integrate it with NDLI, so that it becomes mutually beneficial for both institutions. So now I request Balagopalji to formally propose the vote of thanks. Over to Balagopal, sir.
Chakrabarti sir, it was amazing. Really, I was learning from your marvelous speech. And I felt that I am in a classroom where I am learning a lot of things. And here I am taking two challenges you have put forward very seriously. And the next, during the 26th National Reading Month celebrations, we will establish more than a lakh NDLI clubs in the country, sir. More than a lakh. I'm not telling just with people's participation. I draw sustenance and courage from the indomitable will of the children, the school teachers, PTs, and the librarians, school librarians. They have to do it. They will come forward, I'm sure. And it will make it as a real people's movement, sir. People's movement. That is one challenge I'm taking. Next year, 1 lakh. And of course, I've taken the support and guidance of Dr. Vignesh also. In fact, last 2 years, before pandemic, we have intensively traveled to Kerala and Tamil Nadu to form NDLI clubs in the school, in the colleges. And we could, I don't know the total number, that is, number is available only with the Dr. Vignesh. And from my experience also, I'm putting it forward, sir. 1 lakh, you can count on me. Number two, your suggestion. That's also very, very attractive and very, in fact, I was really proud to hear that announcement that PM Panicker Foundation takes the challenge to bring contents of most of the stalwarts of the country, including our what you call our this this movement, this liberation movement. Our people, there was their stories of their sacrifice and all the other things that will have collected and that will be uploaded, and that all the contents, because so many people are coming forward. So whether our contents can also be free, I can assure you free. No, you don't pay, you don't have to pay or arrange any what you call copyright, because those who participate in independence movement and others who have done miracles, the politicians, the literary giants, so many people, the people's representatives, and their stories it is interesting, and they should, the new generation should read and understand, because they must this history, they must learn this history through these biographies. So that also I am taking it as a challenge, that within the next 1 year, again, I will take 2 lakhs contents, 2 lakhs contents, collecting from different parts of the country, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. I will collect from very reliable sources, the printed materials as well manuscript, and that can be uploaded through your this NDLI, this National Digital Library Network, because a pride and privilege for us to have this achieved, and for the new generation. That two things we are taking it very seriously, and I told you again, I draw sustenance and courage from the indomitable will of the people, as well as teaching community and the students and librarians. Sir, another thing, I have a small request, sir. Now we are all heading for a 10% literacy of the country. I think by 2030, India will be one of the fully literate state of the country of the world. But to continue this literacy, this government of literacy in Kerala, my experience, because literate coming illiterate, that's a very bad system. So to avoid that, I request your good self and the entire team of your digital library that some books and some materials, reading materials, some other study aids for neo-literates, those are just completed literacy programs. Neo-literates, lakhs and lakhs of neo-literates are there in the country. Literate order, neo-literates also there. They should have some access to this type of materials, and kindly prepare these materials. I will also try to get maximum available content, because a lot of initiatives have taken place from the previous National Digital Library and National Literacy Mission, and mission also. Through this, we can take our message to the grassroots level, sir. These two things, I am grateful to you for attending this webinar and giving us more input and encouragement with your nice words. And really, there's another one small issue, sir, Vignesh has already told. Sir, during this, for the last 2 years, during this 1 month long celebrations, we have requested to attend, announced that video book making has become a contest. It's a competition. And we are happy that a lot of people have come, even in Kerala, without children above the age of 6th standard, 7th standard. I was amazed. I was thrilled that they are making video book, and they are making video book on PM Panicker, and they are making video book on so many aspects. I was really thrilled, because in Kerala, I've seen it from my own this video, what you call in YouTube. I've seen this in YouTube. I was really amazed, sir. And that's so we need the involvement of everybody in video bookmaking and audio bookmaking, etc. And this involvement of, I request the involvement of all librarians, whether it's a primary school library, middle school, higher secondary, or colleges, or anywhere, university. They must also come together. Librarians has to play a key role, and I value them. And I requested our secretary also, Secretary Education, that this library, these professional librarians of the country, they should be given some more favored treatment, and some of their grievances should also be heard, so that we can take their services fully. And then that will be an addition, that will be a support to the National Digital Library Movement. And sir, within the next 5 years, the National Digital Library Movement is one of the people's-led movements, sir. I assure you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming and part of this webinar. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Vignesh, and all participants.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for being here, sir. So participants, I just have a couple of housekeeping announcements. So I have shared the feedback form URL and the registration URL for this session. So kindly register yourself and first register and then submit your feedback form. Once you submit the feedback form, you can collect the download the certificate of participation for this session. I can see at least some 400 people attended in YouTube and another 220 people attended in the this one Zoom webinar. So we are once again thanking each one of you for participating in this. And tomorrow, I think there is going to be a minor change in the schedule. I think Balagopalji is working out. So once it is updated, we will share the tomorrow's session. Okay. So with this, we are going to end this session. We once again thank each one of you, especially to Professor Chakrabarti for taking out time from his busy schedule and being with us. Thank you, sir.
Number 900.